Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
Hello and welcome to Africa Watch on the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How are you doing? How's everything going? Some very worrying reports are coming out of Rwanda and Uganda. A lot of you have contacted me talking about the rising tension at the Rwanda-Uganda border. I don't know what, it started off as like a little murmur a couple of weeks ago, but now 3 weeks later, this thing is just escalating. And while Uganda and Rwanda, they're busy telling us, oh, there's no beef, but behind the scenes, it's crazy. It's like an it's like a couple that abuses each other with fists and punches and everything, but when you meet them, one's got a black eye and he's like, no, we're good, we're still in love. That's basically what's happening in Uganda. So many reports saying that, both the diplomats on the Rwandese side and the Ugandan side are trying to just create some kind of peace, love and unity vibe. But what is going on? And why is there so much beef? And by the way, this might explain why Wodemaya got deported back from Uganda to Rwanda. They just ain't happy and why they thought he was a spy. He didn't know there's a major, international crisis going on. But seriously, not to make jokes, but something is up. So what happened is that allegedly Rwanda closed their borders all of a sudden about 3 weeks ago and started to limit the cargo that was crossing from the Uganda side to the Rwanda side at a place called Katuna Crossing. And they started blocking, and so Uganda has actually accused Rwanda of blocking cargo trucks and other vehicles and stopping Ugandan nationals from crossing the border. And Rwanda then released a statement and said, no, we're not stopping you guys, but imagine we've started construction on our side of the Katuna border, so we can't let in all the cargo. Meanwhile, there's all this fish that's going rotten from Lake Victoria, Uganda. There's all these goods that are just, perishable goods that are decaying in no man's land. So usually at a border, there'll be like the Ugandan border, then there'll be a little like no man's land, and then there'll be the Rwandese border. So what happens is a lot of these trucks, they're saying over 37 trucks or something, have passed through the Ugandan border on their way to Rwanda, and they were cleared, as having exited, and now they're all stuck in this no man's land because they've been denied entry, and they can't, because of some kind of immigration policy, they can't just reverse and go back into Uganda. They would have to drive along the no man's land to the next border crossing, which also has issues. So what's really going on? Now, Uganda is calling it an economic sabotage, and they say, they plan to petition the East African Community Secretariat in Arusha. But get this, the irony is the East African community is currently being chaired by Rwanda. Anyway, seriously, it's not funny, but I'm just like, they're just screwed on all sides. And, because Kagame actually succeeded Museveni last month, it's not even a year, it's not even, a month hasn't even ended, amid rising tensions and long-standing counter accusations. So at the end of February, all of a sudden, Rwanda just abruptly started stopping vehicles from going to Uganda, from entering Rwanda. And they also said, they also started telling their Rwandese nationals to stop going to Uganda because their people are being tortured, abused, and harassed. You see how beef, I saw Africans, that's the problem with our beef. It's like you throw a custode, but you're not coming out and telling me, yo, I got a problem with you. We got economic problems. We got problems. But you're just like, nah, I'm just seeing a statement. Yo, you guys don't go over that, and then all of a sudden Ugandans are being mistreated. There was actually a story I saw. It wasn't funny when I was doing my research about this poor Ugandan driver who was driving a bus for a wedding party that was actually heading to Uganda for the wedding, and unfortunately the groom plus his entourage sorry, they were going from Uganda to Rwanda, plus his entourage, plus the driver, were left, and a Kenyan driver had to take over, and the wedding didn't take place. I mean, it's sad. We imagine, and weddings, the way they take so much to whatever, but there's so much. What's the beef? Museveni, what's the beef? Kagame, what's the beef? Anyway, it also has something to do with the unfair economic trade relations between Uganda and Rwanda. I'll be letting you know more right after this.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
To understand this, you have to go back to what young brother here referred to as the house Negro and the field Negro. Back during slavery, there was two kinds of slaves. There was the house Negro and the field Negro. The house Negro, they lived in the house with master. They dressed pretty good. They ate good because they ate his food, what he left. They lived in the attic or the basement, but still they lived near their master. And they loved their master more than the master loved himself. They would give their life to save their master's house quicker than the master would. The house Negro, if the master said, we got a good house here, the house Negro said, yeah, we got a good house here. Whenever the master said we, he said we. That's how you can tell a house Negro. If the master's house caught on fire, the house Negro would fight harder to put the blaze out than the master would. If the master got sick, the house Negro would say, what's the matter, boss? We sick. We sick. He identified himself with his master more than his master identified with himself. And if you came to the house Negro and said, let's run away, let's escape, let's separate, that house Negro would look at you and say, man, you crazy. What you mean separate? Where is there a better house than this? Where can I wear better clothes than this? Where can I eat better food than this? That was that house Negro. In those days, he was called a house nigger. And that's what we call him today because we still got some house niggers running around here. This modern house Negro loves his master. He wants to live near him. He'll pay 3 times as much as the house is worth just to live near his master. And then brag about, I'm the only Negro out here. I'm the only one on my job. I'm the only one in this school. You nothing but a house Negro. And if someone come to you right now and say, let's separate, you say the same thing that the house Negro said on the plantation. What you mean separate? From America? This good white man? Where you gonna get a better job than you get here? I mean, this is what you say. I ain't left nothing in Africa. That's what you say. Why, you left your mind in Africa.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
Welcome back to Africa Watch on the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? Yeah, there's beef, guys. I mean, not only is Kenya currently beefing with Somalia over some oil reserves in the ocean, but now Rwanda and Uganda have beef, and this is actually quite sad. So, Kagame was interviewed, right? About the beef, and he acted surprised. He's like, even me, I'm shocked, because we have a foundation for a good relationship. Even me, what? That's how he reacted. And he said, the tensions should be resolved quickly because the alternative is not something that we should be thinking or even entertaining, that we can stand in the way of our own progress or the progress of East Africa. What alternative? I mean, is it escalating to that point? It's like you have an argument and you're already talking divorce. This is crazy. we shouldn't think of the alternative. I don't know. It's just so weird. And so, of course, allegations by Kigali of discrimination, incarceration of its nationals. So allegedly, about 40 citizens from Rwanda are currently in some kind of chieftain's military, are being held by the chieftain's military intelligence. And 800 Rwandese were deported last year or denied entry into Uganda, yeah. And while Kampala has said this is rubbish, they have not denied 800 Rwandese, and there must have been something funny with their papers. Things are escalating because now we're being told that actually prices in Kigali are going up, certain goods are getting more expensive, and then now, because of the closeness of the border, there's kids who maybe live on the Ugandan side, but their school is on the Rwandese side, or they live on the Rwandese side, but their school is on even the school children, long story short, are being told not to cross the border. It's crazy. And, the Rwandese government has actually advised its nationals not to enter Uganda until Rwanda kind of gives the green light. Now, let me tell you what happens. Normally, there's about 300 to 400 vehicles that cross the Uganda-Rwandese border daily. But the big issue, this is what a lot of people are saying, is that Rwanda and Uganda are fighting over, it's an economic issue and it's a trade issue. Because apparently, Uganda makes about 254 million from the goods it sells in Rwanda annually, whereas Rwanda only makes 20 million from Uganda. That's a problem. So Rwanda only makes a tenth of what they give to Uganda. It's complicated. So, this has created a lot of problems, although everyone is saying everything is fine. So you don't even know what to expect, because now Rwanda has said, no, our borders are open, but we're doing construction, so we can't have these heavy trucks coming through. The last statement I saw last night, we were being told diplomats are working overtime to resolve the issue. Kampala admits that there are problems on the 3 border points with Rwanda, but says they're trying to handle it. And this is not the beginning of this. Basically, Museveni and Kagame have been here, in case you didn't know. And there's been tension between these two nations for years, maybe since the genocide, when a lot of Tutsis actually crossed over into Uganda. So there's been a lot of drama, but get this. It actually escalated last night when Rwanda sent its military to the border. What the? Uganda was asked for comment, and they said, we haven't reached there. we don't see it as that big of a problem. So we ain't sending our military. They can send theirs, but still, it's just escalated, and it's just like, let me tell you, Kagame. I'll do a show on Kagame one day. I keep saying that. You just wait. I'll do it. I think it's the truth about Kagame will set so many people free. But Kagame is a wheeler-dealer strategist. The minute he got the East African Community Chair, boom, borders are locked. But, we will see this situation is still unfolding. Is Uganda on the right? Is Rwanda on the right? Probably not. These are brothers. They're neighbors. They have to kind of figure it out. And I agree with Kagame that the alternative of something else should not even be it shouldn't even have deposited a thought in his head. The fact that it did totally disturbs me. But, and there's a lot going on. Guys, it's even deeper than that, because, for so long, Kagame has actually been accused of messing with even North Kivu and the DRC, and for kind of creating instability in the nation, because a lot of people say he's a CIA puppet. Anyway, let me just leave it at that. We prayed for peace. Seriously, these are our neighbors. Rwanda, Uganda, get it together. May the Most High bless and keep you. And to my Ugandan and Rwandese brothers and sisters, let me know, what's up? Is there beef between you guys, or is this just a presidential thing? Mwah!
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.